Hello, please join us on this video for a GFCI receptacle troubleshooting and repair. Please don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons so that we can keep bringing fresh content to you. Disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only, and make sure you're using safe practice around electricity, including shutting off the breaker and all power. During a service call for something unrelated to this video, our customer asked us to check out their plug setup for the Christmas lights for safety. We did recommend that this plug complex be put in either a watertight box or lifted off the ground, but wanted to make sure they had GFCI protection until they were able to do that. We plugged our GFCI tester into this outlet, and it was showing no GFCI protection available. Just knowing the background of this house and the wiring, we thought that was a little weird it didn't have GFCI protection there, so we wanted to take a closer look. We used our handy dandy circuit breaker finder, found which breaker powered that outlet, and we went ahead and we shut that off. Now we're going to go ahead and take a closer look inside there and see if we can find a wiring fault, and if not, we'll go ahead and we'll put an actual GFCI outlet in and see if that fixes things. So we got everything taken apart. We didn't really see anything in our wiring that would be indicative of the GFCI not tripping. We checked around all the other outlets inside the house that may be a GFCI upstream of this that's protecting it, and couldn't find any. So I wanted to go ahead and put a GFI in this one and see if that would actually give us protection and fix the problem. So before you guys start going nuts on me in the comments for putting that in-use box back on, I know the in-use box and the gasket need to be replaced. I have a new one on the way to me at that moment in the video. I just wanted everything assembled back together for the further testing purposes. So I went ahead and put everything together. I'm going downstairs to turn that breaker back on. If you look in the top right-hand corner of that receptacle, you see there's a little LED indicator. It turns red when I turn the breaker on. A lot of times that will trip red when you first energize a newly installed GFCI receptacle, but in this case here, it doesn't revert back to green, which means good. It just stays in red, and I can't actually reset the receptacle to have power. So clearly there's a problem somewhere. I started testing some other outlets that I found that were on that same circuit, and they're showing a hot ground reversed, which is kind of a big deal. Sometimes it's a false indicator. Sometimes you do actually have a hot circuit energizing the ground line. So I really wanted to go ahead and get to the bottom of this. So I found a couple of different receptacles in the garage and in the bathroom, and they were all giving me that fault. I ended up putting the voltmeter on, and it was showing 5 volts on one of the receptacles. So that should read 120. Clearly there's a problem somewhere. So again, I'm just going through every single receptacle that I can find that's on that circuit. They're all giving me that hot ground reversed, and they're not giving me a GFCI trip with the tester. At this point in time, I was getting ready to call the night and come back the next morning with a fresh mind. I was on about my 4th or 5th time around trying to find receptacles that I might have missed, and I came across this one in the laundry room that neither myself or the customer knew existed. It was giving me the same hot ground reverse fault on my receptacle tester, and it wasn't tripping either through the tester or manually on the outlet itself. So this led me to believe we were going in the right direction. I flipped the breaker off and I took this receptacle out, and I noticed some charring on the outside of it. Because of this, I went ahead and I took it apart to see what it looked like on the inside, and there was some pretty significant charring and burn damage on the inside. So as you can see from that damage on the inside, it is pretty significant, and that was probably really close to causing a fire. So it's probably a blessing that we came across this when we did, and then got that fault to force us to look and find this. I mean, look at that circuitry there. That's definitely the reason for that hot ground reverse fault. So knowing that since we had a GFCI receptacle here to begin with, this is probably the receptacle that actually controls all the ones downstream and gives them GFCI protection. So we took that initial one that we installed outside out and installed that in this location, and then we went ahead and put a weather-resistant normal duplex outlet outside and replaced that with a new gasket and a new in-use cover. Once we did all that, we went ahead and turned our circuit breaker back on, and we went ahead and tested each and every receptacle that was on there, checking to make sure we have proper operation for GFCI. We hope you found this video helpful, and hopefully it showed the importance of using that test button and testing them monthly like the fine print on the receptacles tells you to do. Please make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe, and if you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Until next time, bye.